Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is MegaShadowFist, and welcome back to Tales of Vesperia. Now, when we last left off, we got back to Zophia's Tower. Now we're in a completely different area than I was before, so, oh, let's fight you! So, you know, last episode of the recording session, which was episode 79, I was sort of like in, more of, retrospect mode, I guess. Let me go to the Knight's, High Knight Bishop. I was sort of in more of recap mode. I was reflecting on, events that occurred earlier in this series because, for the most part, we were within areas that was, as if you recall correctly, assuming, you've either played the game or if you've, oh, dead at this modest land! Stone Blast! What was I gonna say? Blue Fatal Strike. Assuming you've played the game or if you've watched, this series, I don't know, for all I know, this could be your first video on the channel, in which case, welcome to the channel, but if you play the game, you should know that Zophia's castle was actually the first, let's use a, destroy, oh, I did it too early, was actually the first,
okay, let's go.
The first dungeon that we had in the game. Zagi was our very first boss, I mean, unless you count Adacor or Adacor and Bokos, but I don't really think that counts, honestly. That's just Adacor and Bokos, what was the point of that? I think it was just, they were just a tutorial fight to sort of get us familiar with how the fighting system works, because, for those of you who don't know, this, what was it called? It was the flex range, oh, I should have used a magic guard. It uses the flex range motion, a linear battle system, because, the linear battle system is, the battle system that all Tales games use. It was it was the evolved flex range motion linear battle system, I believe is what it was, because the flex range motion battle system came from Tales of the Abyss. And so, it was one of the first games to allow free running, because, all the other ones, were pretty much essentially on a 2D plane. Symphonia was the first to allow you to go, not just forward and backward, but you could go on, it had the It had the multi-line linear battle system, so you could go from side to side and stuff. And let's fight you. And what was it? Tales of Rebirth allowed you to have not only was it on an X plane, but it also had a Y plane. You could fight people in the air and stuff. And then there was Legendia, which for some reason went back to I think you could only go back and forth. I think it was more like a traditional. It was a 3D game, but it went back to using random encounter. I haven't played. For those of you who don't know, this is my third Tales games. Symphonia and Eternia are my first two. So I know stuff about other Tales games, but if I say stuff I know what I'm talking about, it doesn't exactly mean that I've played them. Legendia had it had the random encounter system from the first three games, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they did that, and it had. And you could. I'm pretty sure that you could only move forward and backwards, which is also weird. But
enjoy these little times together.
Yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, there's no High Knights Bishops here. But yeah, I don't know. I talk about that, and I think in every recording session. I don't know why. I just love talking about the linear motion battle system, but I just do. Anyway, I actually saw a little bit of gameplay of Exilia. And it was kind of weird. It looked very different. First of all, that it was a little bit of the. First of all, from the Tales games, if you've played Tales games before, you'll know that usually, people the dialogue is put into thought text bubbles. Kind of like a comic book sort of. It varies depending on the game. This game had more a comic book style, but Exilia didn't have that. It was just regular subtitles, which I thought was really weird. And then the battle system looked a little weird too, because the dungeon exploring was weird because if you look at this, we sort of have an sort of overhead view. In Exilia, from the gameplay that I saw, it was straight. Can you zoom in? I don't think you can zoom in, but it was straight. It was right from the back of your character, and the battle system. The battle system, which for the most part, usually in Tales games, is a side view. It was from behind as well, which I thought was really. I thought that was interesting. I don't know. It was just one of those things, I suppose. Anyway, we have Vesperia, you know, this Tales game, you know, according to my stupidity and Bayonetta, I called it the only Tales. Oh, hold on. Magic Guard. Haha, you can't beat me. I knew that you were about to use that. Yeah, I called it the only Tales game in existence. Oh no! Angel Ring, I hate that. I was like, Symphonia, Eternia, Graces, I think I mentioned Fantasia as well. Those games don't exist. We're only talking about Vesperia here, which is interesting. And I'll get back to talking about the game, I swear, in a second. But there's just one other thing that I wanted to talk about, you know, because I don't know, I like going to the Tales wiki every now and then and, like, looking up stuff, because for those, I said, actually, in, like, I believe it was when I was in the Sansa Kogor for the first time. And I was talking about how I got an English patch for Fantasia, which I still haven't played yet. I'm probably not going to play it until I beat this game, but,
Watch my back.
I was like, let's see, hold on. What was I talking? I was like, each Tales game pretty much exists within its own universe, and because, like, you know, if you could play this game and have never played Eternia or Symphonia, which came out before this, and, like, it wouldn't matter, because, you know, this takes place in Turkalumariz, you know, and Eternia takes place in Inferior and Celestia, but, you know, that takes place in the land of Eternia. You know, Symphonia takes place on Silverant and Tetheala. But, you know, they're completely different universes and everything, and each world has, like, its own canon. Like, in this game, we have our Blastia. Symphonia has your X spears.
No one can stop brave Vesperia.
Some have in Symphonia of your summon spirits. Eternia of your Kramil spirits, which are essentially the same thing. Like, they were the same things. They were the same things. It's just that they just had a different name. But there are actually two sets of games that Tales games that actually take place in the same universe. Innocence and Heartsteel, which I wasn't surprised about, because those two games are essentially companion pieces, so it makes sense that they take place within the same universe. But actually, I was surprised to find out that Fantasia and Symphonia actually take place within the same universe. Symphonia takes place about, according to the wiki at least, about 4,000 years before the events of Fantasia. You know, it's kind of like, it's kind of depressing a little bit, because, you know, it's like, you know, when you play a game, you kind of want your characters to live on or something. I don't freaking know. Like, you don't want them to die, but, you know, to think that 4,000 years has passed since the events of Symphonia, and they've all been dead for like a bajillion years, except for maybe one character in particular. But not gonna get into that because that would be
Guess we're done.
major spoiler territory. But it's kind of crazy to think, like, you know, what Mythos, the hero, was to the characters of Symphonia. The characters of Symphonia were to the characters of Fantasia, which is interesting. That really makes me want to play Fantasia really badly. As soon as I finish this game, I'm definitely going to play it. Not on the channel, of course. I asked this a while ago, like, games that I want, another long-running series I'd recommend it, like, I was thinking about Oblivion, Eternal Sonata, and I think Records of Agaris War was the other one, but I didn't mention it in the video because I couldn't think of it, but so far it's sort of kind of leaning towards...
The secret of my strength
is the secret. It's sort of leaning more towards, Records, or not Records of Agaris War, but Eternal Sonata, but I don't know. Anything could happen. Anyway, that's enough. Did I say all that I need to say about, like, this is going to be another rambling episode. That happens every now and then, because, I don't know, I kind of have to have rambling episodes every now and then, because there's really not much new stuff going on in this game. I've been playing it for 42 hours. Realistically, I probably have about 45 hours. Like, 42 hours is not counting deaths and everything, and I have... Once episode 79 went out, I had about 39 hours worth of content for this game go up, so, you know, I've been doing the same thing for quite some time, 6 months in fact, so, you know, I predict that it's going to be ending relatively, not like super soon. I don't know, I predict that maybe, because, like, if I were to go off of raw playtime, I'd say that I probably have about 5, maybe 6 more recording sessions left in the game,
friendship and hard work.
so... about a month or so left. I don't freaking know, but anyway. Yeah, Symphonia 4,000 years in the future. So 4,000 year prequel, that's that. I think that's all that I wanted to say. That's enough. Not on slot 1, you idiot. It'll be on slot 4. That's enough of that. Let's talk about, like, the game for a little bit, eh? 43 hours? Yeah, so 7 hours. Yeah, we shouldn't be talking about that right now. I'm still enjoying the game. It's just that, you know, I don't know if I'm, like, coming across, like, oh, I'm trying to rush through the game and, like, get through it as quickly as possible. I mean, I would like to finish it. I would like to finish it because it's been going on for quite some time and I'd like to move on to other stuff. But I'm still enjoying the game. I'm taking it one day at a time. I know, because at one point I actually practically forgot that this game had an ending to it. Like, I mean, like, obviously I knew that the game was going to end, but, like, I didn't go about thinking that it was going to end. Like, you know, that made me kind of sad, realizing that this game does have an end, and more than likely, it's probably going to have a stupid, freaking, ambiguous ending. If I were to go off of... Oh, Symphonia wasn't too bad, but Eternia was really bad. It's like, if they have this pattern here in Tell's games where, like, they sort of leave the ending somewhat ambiguous, you know? It's like if they animated literally, like, 30 more seconds to a minute worth of content, they would have a complete game, but they stop at just the last second to have a complete ending. And it's kind of annoying. I'm pretty sure that they do that simply because, if they were to wrap everything up in a nice little neat bow, it would be very hard to continue the story if they ever need to. And since each game sort of takes place in its own universe, like, there's not very much like to continue off of to begin with. They don't have like a whole overarching story. That's kind of like, you know, like, you know, the Elder Scrolls games, they can have like nice and neat endings because they all have an overarching plot, sorta, kind of. Whereas Tell's games, they exist in their own universe, which it makes it easier for the writers of each Tell's game because they don't have to worry about like the physics and the limits of other Tell's games. But Breaker Bow, I think we already had that for Raven, if I'm not mistaken. No, we don't. Ooh, an Elven. It sucks. Damn it. Magic attack. That's a really good boost in physical attack and physical defense, but Raven's more of a magic user anyway, so I guess I'll hold on to that. I was like, this command the heavens with the power of the ring, winch. Okay, we already read that, but I think we need Sources Ring level 4 for that. But yeah, so like they do that so that they can sort of make, so that, like, in case they ever want to continue the story for the games, they can. It'll be easier. So it's like if everything ended, if they wrapped everything up, it'd be very hard to continue. So that's kind of why they have like very ambiguous endings. I understand that. So that's why I'm not gonna like complain about it too much. But at the same time,
Watch my back.
it is kind of annoying. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna do it for this game too, because that's just sort of how it's gonna be. Symphonia actually really didn't have that bad of an ambiguous ending, but Eternia was kind of poopy. Like, I was like, really? Anyway, it's no big deal though. Let's go ahead and talk about this game, because I've been rambling for 13 minutes, guys. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I do that. I really do that in this game, especially in dungeons, because it is what it is. I'm about to start rambling again. Okay, game. Dragon Upper, love shot. Yeah, I need to use an orange gel. How about I use it? I haven't really been paying attention to my TP very much. I really need to be mindful of that. Yeah, the game. Crescent Moon, Dragon Upper. Holy powers come to me, first aid. Oh, sweet. Oh, no.
Now that's teamwork.
Oh, that was such an awesome combo, man. If I got to finish him off with a Fatal Strike, that would have been really, really great. Oh, well, no big deal.
This'll make good practice.
Okay, we got the High Knights Bishops here. This'll make good practice. Okay, so I predict that if I open the door in the middle room, I'll go straight to the boss. Oh, yeah, you need to use my whatchamacallit there. That's what I predict. I'm kind of nervous. There wasn't a blue save station, but, you know, for those of you who know, like, that you don't always have to have a blue save station before a boss. Like, Gattuso didn't have a blue save station before the boss, and technically there was a save station before the Belius fight, but you had to go through like 30 minutes to 40 minutes. I think it was like 30 minutes worth of content, I believe, is what it took to go through everything in order before you got to fight Belius. And so I don't really consider that like a save station just before the Belius fight, because, you know, You had to go into Belius's room. You had to talk to her. You had to, which is a really long cutscene, by the way. Then after like Tyson and the leader of the Hunting Blades came in, you had to go down the stairs.
Now that's teamwork.
You had to go down the stairs and you had to fight people along the way. I believe there were 4 people along the stairs. Then there was another cutscene, and then I discovered the Wonder Chef. Vagabond +1. And then you had a sort of event battle, and then you know what? Sure. I don't like such drastic drops, but really Hellhound is like the only potential, let's see, we can't even open it, the only potential magic attack he has, so I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things. And the boost in physical attack and physical defense is so much that I think it outweighs the decrease in magic attack anyway. Like, if we drop by like 50 magic attack and we only got like a boost in like 5 physical attack, I wouldn't really consider that worth it. But anyway, and then you have the Blaze fight. So, and just because there's a blue save station, that does not always mean that there's going to be, this is probably going to be a cutscene, right? There's always, oh, that does not always mean that there's going to be a boss fight, because, cutscene.
So you have come at last.
Is that?
A Critian? No, wait, you were...
Meet Chroma, special advisor to the Imperial Knights, Alexei's personal assistant.
Then she's an enemy?
No, I am not. For the time being, in any case.
That's not a very comforting way to put it. Sorry, but we got somewhere to go. If you're here to fight, fine. If not, maybe it could wait until later.
Who is it you would fight for?
What do you mean?
That poor, pathetic young girl?
She doesn't need your pity.
You are being really vague. Come on, spit it out already.
I cannot know what that one saw in all of you, but I wish for you to stop him.
Okay, that made no sense. Did anybody get what she was trying to say?
What does she mean by that one? Could she? Okay, I'll hold on to that thought.
Maybe she wants us to stop Alexei?
Maybe. It would add up, I guess.
Yes, Estelle should be just up ahead.
Maybe it was more like, go nail that guy's butt to the wall.
I could handle that. Come on.
Okay, but just because there's a blue save station, that doesn't mean that there's going to be a... Because, like, there have been times where...
Watch my back.
Let's see, Heracles not Heracles, but, the dungeon just before Heracles. No, it was Heracles. No. What was it called? The place where, you know, it was a couple dungeons ago where we fought Schwan. What was it called? I don't think it was Heracles, because we weren't actually on Heracles. Or were we? Who freaking knows? Anyway, yeah, like, that had blue save stations everywhere, but that was because, like, we didn't have a real healing character. But, what was it? The Sansico Gore had two blue save stations also, and that didn't, and we still had a healing character. I guess they just did that because it was such a long dungeon that it was basically a grinding session. That was my least favorite dungeon in the game so far, and honestly, I doubt that we have very many dungeons left in the game. I'm not saying that we're on, like, our last 2 or 3. We probably have... maybe 4, 5? You know, feel free to let me know. I mean, I've sort of spoiled already a major plot point in the game to myself anyway, so, you know, anything like that, that's not that doesn't really matter anymore to me. But should I think I'm just gonna wait here maybe and sort of end off the episode, have like an awkward pause. So yeah, I sort of rambled a lot about the Tell's games in general and lots of other stuff. Really didn't talk about the game very much, but, you know, I have to have rambling episodes every now and then. I talk too much, and, you know, if I bottle everything in for too long, it just becomes a mess. Anyway, awkward pause. See you guys in the next episode.